Hi, my name is Mark Biernat. I'm a monetary economist, and in this video we're going to talk about, is anything really produced in America anymore? So there's a couple components to that question. First of all, you have to understand that there's tangible goods and intangible goods. Intangibles are always going to be a higher value item. It's something hard to grasp because when an economy starts, you think of like ancient Mesopotamia, ancient Rome, everything's agrarian. Then when you're talking about the Industrial Revolution, everything is steel and machine tool parts, right? Coal, and then fires the steel, then machine tool parts. So a lot of people are reminiscing about these times. But the actuality is that America creates very high valued items. And this goes, is said to be true for Western Europe also, or any free market capitalistic society around the world. You can't be comparing apples and oranges. Apples being maybe the agrarian or pre-industrial time of Charles Dickens and the smokestacks with the modern times where we have intangible goods. But before I go into the intangibles, let me first explain something. Just forget looking things, on the internet. The internet is often the most large compost pile or recycled part of information around the world. Look at your own microeconomic household situation. I always like to go back to microeconomics. Economics is about choice, and I make choices. The three biggest expenditures in anybody's household are houses, transportation, and food. My house, it's stucco, and that's stucco concrete from Florida, and it's also stick frame, which is made from Georgia lumber, okay? So, it's made with American labor on American land. A large component of my house is made in America. That's the first thing. The second thing is my car. It's a Chevy, okay? Most of the components, or a large component of that, is made in America. The third thing is food. I grow my own food. I go fishing. But when I don't, I look for things specifically made in America. What about the little bit more durable goods? I buy Maytag because they're mostly, for the most part, made in America. My pots and pans, black iron skillet, etc., made in America. I homeschool my kids. Textbooks, these things, made in America. I could go on, but the amount of things made in America still produced is amazing. I mean, if you go to Dollar Tree store, sure, pull a few plastic little things or Walmart or wherever, Target, a lot of that is made in China, okay? But I'm not really going to those stores. Maybe you do. Okay, I go to Dollar Tree store because I'm a cheapskate, but for fun. But for the most part, and so a lot of that stuff is made in America. And this is in the realm of tangible goods. Now, the argument here is that most of America, besides aircraft and rockets and pharmaceuticals, but even pharmaceuticals are an intangible to some extent, or education, etc., is, something physical. But let's look at the real intangibles. Let's talk about Hollywood. When's the last time you watched a Russian film? Everything filmed that we all watch in Netflix or wherever we stream, it's all made in America, right? Disney, okay? Universal, Legoland. We have amusement parks in Florida. This takes a lot of creative endeavor, intellectual capital to put your brain to work. What about Google? What about YouTube? Okay? Made in America. What about the software you're using? Maybe the hardware underneath it is cheaply made abroad or whatever. But, my point is, a lot of people bad-mouthing the country and saying it's going to collapse and we're falling in, and we got to make it something special again. But the reality is, I don't want to go back to those times. Make it again. Let me explain something. My four grandparents born in the 1800s, I don't want to go back to the 1800s. That was a hard life. 2 parents born during the Great Depression, I don't want to go back to the Great Depression. That was a hard life. I want to live this time, this life, where life is pretty easy. Most of us, they had like one job their whole life and that was it. We're flipping jobs. We have a lot of freedom of choice. This is all about utility. Economics is about how much utility that I can absorb. Not to sound hedonistic, because I'm not, obviously. But it is about utility. And once you satisfy in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the basic things of, shelter, food, transportation, then you're really talking about self-actualization. And a lot of that self-actualization, these intellectual goods, whether they're in the entertainment industry, education industry, amusement industry, relaxation, or informational, IT, nanotechnology, AI. That's the United States, or that's Western Europe, or that's, Singapore, Malaysia, all the great countries, or even India, all the great countries that have embraced the free market. Before you make a claim that nothing's made in America, nothing great, and we're losing our edge, understand the difference between an agrarian society, an industrial society, an intellectual, intangible society, where there's value added and utility coming from this higher level functioning. Understand that a lot of things around you in your household, including your house, maybe your car, and maybe your appliances, but probably all your food is still made in America. These are, most of life is day-to-day. Most of life is microeconomics, day-to-day action. And a lot of goods and services, and people say, well, that's not made in America. But, things like goods, services, transportation, insurance, these are extensions of the production process. Transportation, insurance, it's an extension of production. You don't realize it because it seems disconnected, but that's the complexities of a capitalistic system. Do I think we need a little bit of change? Sure. Yeah, okay. But does that come from above, or does that come from entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship? And how do you do that? Very easy. You create more freedoms, and people gravitate towards doing things. Now it seems everybody's doing these cottage industries, and a lot of people in their homes, and they're making things, all right? They're insourcing. 3D printing is going to bring a lot in. So there's no need to get radical with, barriers, because a lot of that will be gravitating in anyway based on education, entrepreneurism, freedom index. I mean, United States, America, Western Europe, any free country around the world, it's a great life to live in. So don't get down, or don't go into a cynical spiral about things are not made here. They are. I tell you where they're not really made, or at least made for the consumer and the people who live there. They're not made in despotic countries. Despotism, closed economies, quote unquote, mixed economies. And China, North Korea, Iraq, Russia, to name a few. So it's pretty good life here in America. If you don't think so, tell me. But I'm enjoying life. My name is Mark Biernat. I'm a monetary economist. Have a great day. Thank you very much.